Hello. So I'm Noelle. I'm back with an 8 month out update. We're about 7, 8 months out from selling everything and moving abroad. And I wanted to share what we're doing this far away from our move dates. So this month was a lot of physical projects. It started out kind of rough early December. I got COVID the last week of my fall semester. So it knocked me out for the whole week. It was not ideal. But luckily, I'm kind of a work ahead kind of person, so I had a good start on all of my final projects, and I got to have a really good talk with my son about this is why integrity matters and why your teachers, if they know that you're a hard worker and you show up, they will give you grace when something like this happens. So that proved true. So we made it through that, ended up still doing good in the semester, and then had to switch gears, slowly kind of building that energy up. So we have really worked at balancing between the physical projects and the mental, the dreaming, the learning about what's next, possibilities. So in this video, I finally started filming some time-lapse videos of all of the projects that we've been working on. So I'll walk through each of those here. And then in addition to that, this was the time I have to wrap up selling all the things. So I left just a few things for sale, but other than that, I had to end a lot of the listings for eBay, Poshmark, even Etsy. In order to do the projects we were going to do, I needed to shut down my shipping area in Art Studio. And we have so many other things we still need to do and accomplish. So these few weeks between my fall and spring semesters was the time to do a lot of physical projects. So that's the chapter we're now into. So we're continuing saving. Most of that came in the form of me taking on graphic design jobs and overtime from Bruce. We didn't do a lot of things that cost a lot of money. So we tend to live below what the paychecks are anyways. And so we just keep saving that. We do have a big expense coming up where we're going to get fiber optic put in. Our internet's been terrible, and it'll help, if we sell or rent out the house, that'll help either way. So that's a big few $1,000 expense that we will be paying for coming up in a couple weeks. Other than that, I will just walk through and talk in the background here and show you some of the projects we've been working on. So this is what that room used to look like. Just for context, here is the area where I kept the urns. And then as I started going through things, you can see just the levels of disarray are upped. Here's where we have tons of stuff packed up. And then this is where this is the hardest part. These are the last things that I hadn't been able to quite sort through and figure out what to do with. So I'm pricing things, putting them in boxes for the garage sale. I'm just taking a moment to say thank you to a lot of the art pieces and things that have just brought me so much joy through the years. Here I am packaging up a painting to be shipped. I knew I had to get this done right away because it's so much energy because I didn't have a box to fit it. So it was me building boxes to make that happen, but it's a realistic look at behind the scenes of the art life. It's not all of just the painting, it's all of the other stuff. So weighing that, here I am getting the last things for eBay that we're going to keep for sale. Some of my son's Lego minifigures, and I'm packaging those up, weighing them, getting them ready. I sorted through the urns and I put some we're going to keep in the workshop out in the heated workshop so that we'll keep those for sale till spring. The other ones we're just going to put in the garage sale, which I think is a hilarious thing to show up at a garage sale and find cool hand-painted urns, but you never know. And yeah, so here I am just pricing things, packaging things, sorting. I have everything from cards to prints to canvas prints to wine glasses, ornaments. Here's a set of my artist paints that are all really good paints, hundreds of dollars worth of paints that I'm going to do a Craigslist listing for. And then we start dismantling the shelves that all of those urns were on. Aspen was in the background just pounding the wall, which was some good therapy for him, getting some built up stress out. It was nice. There wasn't so much snow yet. It was right before we got more that we were able to back the trailer up to that door and move some of this stuff out pretty easily. So we're taking the floor paneling, heating registers, or floorboard heating. And we've never seen what's behind these walls. So we live in a cute little A-frame house. They've done some work before, but most of this hasn't been touched in 40 years. And so it's in remarkably good condition for being from the 70s. Yep, so just going through, vacuuming, taking everything apart, carrying stuff out, loading up the trailer multiple times. Here I am the next day. We kind of forgot about this wall, so I'm starting to do it. But I can only get the first panels off without really taking apart everything. And it's so cold out. It was close to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So as you take all the styrofoam off, obviously it's colder down there. So we were not super, super freezing, but definitely not ideal. So I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll just keep those for another week or so until we're actually ready to deal with that. So once I had all of that out of the way and off, I'm painting the ceiling here. We just wanted to make this basement really nice for either renters or potential buyers, since we're not sure if we're going to rent it out or sell it. So I found myself working in little, almost 2 foot by 2 foot sections, maybe 3 foot, and just rocking back and forth. I can see why people get the paint that starts out pink and turns white, because that would have been probably more ideal, but we got it done. So then that same day after painting the whole ceiling, here I am painting the doors. I wish, like the inside of that one is wood. I wish I could have kept it wood, but at the same time, all the rest are white. And so it was more important to just have them all matching. So a few coats on all of them, the trim. We're going to actually be putting a wall in and adding a 4th bedroom here. So I'll share that process later as well. But here we are just getting everything really cleaned up, and Bruce is going to start chipping out the floor here. We were hoping these tiles would just pluck up, but that was not the case. They came out in little 1-inch sections. So he was quite the trooper taking care of all of that. So I would try to come down and help out by at least cleaning up what he'd done. I also, behind him, you can see I got that wall painted with some really good water blocking paint. We've been really lucky down there, but it's still just kind of best practices to make sure it's just sealed up really well. And yeah, just keep it good for the next people who are living down there. We also were really careful about wearing masks. It was, pretty dusty down there. And I don't even want to know what's in all of the stuff breathing it in. So, yep. So that's how far we are so far with this. Really just getting this floor out is the next goal. We're going to put some really cool ceramic tile down there and add the 4th bedroom, like I said, and just make it a really nice extra living space for whoever ends up there. So that's where we're at 8 months out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll share again. I'm doing videos almost every day coming up now. Just sharing the process, the dreamer side, the realist list making, practical side, the magical belief side, and everything in between. So stay tuned, and I'll see you again later. All right. Bye.